Wanyanyekavu and his warriors quickly formed a circle with their backs turned against each other. "Who are you? And how do you know my name?" the beast said. "I am Aestia, the commander and ruler of Sloth. I am well aware of your foolishness, and today it will stop." The beast shouted to the minions, and they attacked. Wanyanyekavu and his warriors attacked the minions. They turned into puffs of dust as the warriors fought back using their weapons and gifts. Wanyanyekavu gave command every 10 minutes before he ordered Alicia to form a dome. When it was time, he counted down. 5, 4, 3. Now! And everyone got in it. All the creatures leaped at them but landed on top of Elisha's dome as Wanyanyekavu poured a drop from the canteen onto Elisha's hands, and all the creatures that came in contact with the dome turned into dust. The entire dome was covered in soot, and it blinded them within the dome. Wanyanyekavu said, "Lower the dome, but stay alert." As he lowered the dome, they were all covered with soot. They ran to the stairway, but Aestia stood in front of them. Wanyanyekavu stood in front and ordered everyone to wipe off their weapons and reapply the liquid from the canteen to their weapons and themselves while he stalls the demon. "Are you afraid that I will destroy you?" Wanyanyekavu said. Aestia raised in anger. "You silly man, your flesh, I can jump into your body and make you kill yourself." Wanyanyekavu jokingly. "Nah, you wouldn't do that. You're too lazy. Remember old commander and ruler of laziness. You take honor in something so ridiculous." Daniel handed Wanyanyekavu the canteen as he looked up at the creature. "Let me clean this off for your destruction, if you don't mind, and let's have at it." Aestia replied. "You're puny little. Weapons can't warm me." Wanyanyekavu shouted. "Impy!" and within seconds shouted, "Iwa!" They all used their gifts and powers against Aestia as it yelled out in pain before them all. With one force and in one moment, they destroyed Aestia into a pile of dust. The dust blew away slowly, and an earthquake shook the foundation. Wanyanyekavu shouted, "Quickly! Up the stairs, this place is his domain and is finna turn into dust itself." Boulders started falling into the lava below as they ran up the stairway. Aldhib and Wanyanyekavu were the last ones to come out. "Everyone out and get ready to blow this place up!" shouted Wanyanyekavu over his earpiece. Clearing everyone out on each level and setting the charges for 5 minutes for each level, they heard the explosions as they all made it out of the abyss. They all ran to their jet ships and drove as fast as they could before hearing the last one, and the entire earth imploded, creating a crater the size of the abyss. Circling back around, they looked down to see the bottom of the crater. "Fill Oedipus and his dead in that hole and cover it up," said Wanyanyekavu. Returning to the city, Wanyanyekavu ordered everyone to get cleaned up and rest. The next morning, Wanyanyekavu and his men, using their gifts, also took part in helping the people rebuild their town. Speedsters helped gather the rest of Oedipus' dead and dump their bodies into the abyss. The people called the place till this day El Malcirement Perecera, which means, "The evil shall surely perish." Astonished at what they saw, many civilians joined Wanyanyekavu's army. Afterward, they buried Wanyanyekavu's people on the opposite side of town. It took 6 weeks to bury all the bodies from the abyss, and they were buried in a beautiful park created by the locals they named El Mar de Dolor, which means the Sea of Pain. There was a glorious celebration in honor of the people who died there, and the people performed the funeral in the Wakatilians tradition that Wanyanyekavu taught them. This celebration lasted for 25 days on May 1st and was called Watu Sasa Kapumzika, which translated, "His people now rest," and is honored every year. 2 months after the abyss was seized, many of Wanyanyekavu's warriors departed to find their family members. Within 6 months, they started an exodus back to Madin at Altenware. Heading back, many of them heard of Wanyanyekavu's fame. They were also bringing back seeds, animals, and family members. 47 warriors had left, but over 2,000 came back. A trail of warriors living and protecting Sabaoth's land reached from Madin at Altenware to Colonia Anahuac. 687 miles were protected to the point whereby the people started feeling free again. Within their borders was Laguna de Bustillos, a vast lake that was perfect for fishing. An irrigation system was used to help farm most of this region. At the southwest banks of Laguna de Bustillos, there was the city of Colonia Anahuac. They used Colonia Anahuac much like a huge flea market, where the old bartering system was awakened and utilized once again. By reconstructing highways 5, 16, 21, and Del Ejido Freeway. Heading west of Colonia Anahuac, there stood Ciudad Cuauhtémoc surrounded by Highway 21, a centralized location or the region's heart. A beautiful landscape mixed with grassland and desert with various mountains overlooking the entire area. Going in any direction would be a breath of fresh air. 25 miles to the north on Highway 5 was a stretch of land that led to the twin cities of Colonia Alvaro Obregon and Grañas El Venado. Juan Ñequevu claimed all the land as Tierra de Dios or Sabaoth's land. It was just the complete opposite of the area where Juan Ñequevu was born and raised, but he finally grew to love the place. Unlike Louisiana, there was no humidity. Tornadoes were not a common factor. But the monsoon season brought back memories of home at times. The path from Madinat Altenware to this new area called home was called Juan Ñequevu's Trail. 80% of the people stayed and learned the ways of Juan Ñequevu and served Sabaoth. The rest were left alone and in peace but honored Juan Ñequevu as a great man. They moved in different directions but always stayed west of Juan Ñequevu Trail for safety reasons. During the cleanup and destruction of the abyss, all the drugs were destroyed and Juan Ñequevu and his warriors taught the people farming, gardening, medicine, and even the Abenian technology. The green lands were now used for farming, and the people felt peace for the first time in a long time. They used Madinat Altenware as a training base only, but the people living in this new area raised their families in peace and had a comfortable life. The Wakatilians that were captured from the ship and the abyss took some time to heal even with all the healers. But they eventually were healed from their diseases, addictions, and phobias but refused to return to their homes as a sense of embarrassment and violation. They, too, stayed in the region, learning and teaching their ways of life to the people. It took these Wakatilians a while to adjust to living around the Computans and Anakitas, who worshipped Sabaoth. Once it was proven, they, too, received gifts and powers from Sabaoth that were unimaginable. The population grew to 769,000 men, women, and children, all qualified to be called fierce warriors. These people became known as mestizos. The end.